because of a groin injury. He needs rest, but he doesn't have the time to rest. Now Hackett, on the other hand, is quite sensitive to getting early foul trouble. That happened to him against Magnolia. Plus, he had a comparatively disappointing game last Tuesday.
Yes, he had but 29 points in that ball game. Still coming off by, taken off by Philip Cesar. Banks it hard. Michael seems to be all right. Pingoy, he was running in that as a trailer. Was able to get the follow-up shot.
Well, Michael Young was trying to feel the court and also trying to feel the legs. He was out here moving around by himself at 4:30. But Ginebra Miguel came out of the dugout earlier than Great Taste. We have a turnover going to Cesar, and Cesar is running.
There were 2 interceptions in the first minute of the ball game caused by Philip Cesar's reaching in. Ricardo Brown taking the point, and the fast break completed by the Great Taste Coffee makers, who are leading 4-0 at this point.
Here's Isaac.
Another interception.
Yes, Cesar stuck his hand out, and a fast break. The quick Brown Fox on the move.
This should get Sonny Jaworski worried because his team has not even made an attempt at the basket with 3 offensive thrusts. And at the same time, Great Taste has completed 3 fast break plays for themselves. No?
And the first attempt Ginebra San Miguel. They're on the board. But it's a 4-point lead being enjoyed by Great Taste. Michael Young is on the move.
Yes, sir. I had talked to him earlier this morning, Pingoy, and he told me that he would practice earlier because he felt that the muscles would loosen up. So he was going to get into about 4:30, start running around a little bit and shoot. Because if you sit down, he's going to hurt, more. So might as well play in pace and at the same time loosen the muscles so that he'll be more an effective player.
He did exactly that and trying to work the baseline. There's going to be a knee foul against Isaac. That'll be the first foul against a player, Isaac, and the first team foul against Ginebra San Miguel. At the moment, Great Taste off to a very good start. They blasted away 6-0. They're now in front with the score standing 8-2.
This injury timeout was called by Great Taste Coffee makers for Ricardo Brown. That second interception of Philip Cesar, the ball hit Ricardo Brown in his tooth, and he has a very sensitive one there because I remember 2 years ago when one of my players did hit him at area, he just couldn't concentrate on the game. He had this added on something made of porcelain, and I think the 30-second injury has expired, and Brown has expressed his willingness to be able to get back to court.
Well, 2 things could have happened. Maybe part of the tooth from Rainbow Country. We have the first one coming from the injured Michael Young.
If you notice, Pingoy, if you watch the last 2 games that he played hurt, he wasn't jumping this well. Today, in the first quarter, he seems to be all right. No? Suicidal drive there. Michael Hackett clears the offensive rebound and makes the 2 points.
It's a 7-point lead by Great Taste Coffee. Score at 11-4. Jump shot coming from the quick Brown Fox.
Assistant coach Rino Salazar and Sonny Jaworski up on their feet, probably asking the guards to try to contain Ricardo a little bit by stopping him, not letting him get to his position where he loves to shoot.
Body touch is going to go against Gonzalgo, and Fabiosa will inbound. On the matchup here, Isaac on Brown. Head and shoulder fake. No basket. Taken away by Ricardo Brown.
Goes to Michael Young for a 3-point shot. It's the second. Quickly before things get out of hand, Sonny Jaworski has deemed it wise to put himself there in the scorer's bench and send himself in at the next dead ball situation.
Great Taste looking solid, in front by 12. 2 out of 3 from Rainbow Country. Michael Young. Loizaga. Back rim shot. Here comes Fabiosa. He does a tough job. CJ looking for an opening.
And he's fouled there by Leo Isaac. He'll be sent to the 15-foot line.
Isaac will be pulled out, and we have Jaworski coming in very early. Here's a slow-mo drive. Fabiosa foul in the act of shooting. one of the rare times that the Big J will check in very early in the game. It's either he starts or he'll check in during the second quarter.
Yes, his trend here in the semifinals has been to send himself into the ball game during the second quarter. Hope that the guys that he starts as first fives would be able to match the opponents. But this time it's necessary that he gets hit because Hackett's not getting the ball and distribution is not being done well.
It is Joey Loizaga for his fourth point. Only two Ginebra scoring. A basket coming from Hackett. Well, on the part of Great Taste Coffee, you've got a split from Fabiosa. Cesar a basket. 4 points from Brown. And after two rainbow shots, 10 points for Michael Young. Fabiosa on Joey Loizaga. And a foul is going to go against Fabiosa. DJ.
Who readily gives up the foul because Joey Loizaga was getting into a position where he could pass the ball to Michael Hackett, who was being defended by Ricardo Brown. That would have been easy 2 points.
Ricardo Brown covering Jaworski. Here's Ampalayo, pressed by Cesar. The scholar has done it again. Here's Ricardo Brown. Changing pace, changing direction, putting it up.
Yes, sir. That's what interceptions can do for a team. It allows you to go into its fast break. So far, Great Taste has not gone on a fast break from a defensive rebound, but almost all of them have come from interceptions initiated by Philip Cesar.
Andy, what a strong start coming from Great Taste Coffee. It is now 19-6 in favor of Great Taste. The foul, the first one, is going to go against Ricardo Brown.
You were mentioning what a great start by the Great Taste Coffee makers. I'm sure they felt very badly about their loss the other night. Sonny Jaworski, only 67% from the free throw line here in the semifinals because he's been sent there only 3 times and making 2 out of 3. Now it's 4 out of 5. That should be 80% for him.
From the corner,
Michael Young makes the shot and gets fouled. And he's running to the 15-foot line, I think.
The foul is going to go against Hackett, and in spite of the injury, I think what Michael Young has done is subject himself to be a bionic.
Well, I think the prospects of losing and being eliminated, lifts the spirit of a person. And definitely, he's a person who's a winner and does not want to be eliminated.
This is the biggest lead of Great Taste.
And here's a person with a lot of heart too, Sonny Jaworski, taking charge.
The heart and soul of Ginebra San Miguel, knocking in his 4th point. Young inside.
That kind of a play is very hard to stop because you cannot double team. It's coming from a weak side, and a great passer like Philip Cesar will get the ball to you, as what Tom Heinsohn was saying, on the sweet spot.
I think in this particular game, Coach Baby De Lupan has told his boys to be very careful in the area of turnovers, and we have 2 players from Great Taste taking a plunge. There's a third one, but the hardest fall, Cesar, and he certainly got jarred. We would like to see that again. Young still on the floor, and see how this happened. Cesar will try to extend help defense. Here is Hackett. He will take it up. Bad landing. He was trying to break his fall with that left leg, but I think Cesar knew that he was going to be stiff, so he just wanted to bend it a little bit, but he could not find any solid ground. But he's okay. He's a tough player.
And there was a held ball called in that play. We're going. Very good.
Here's the slow-mo action again. After Michael Young taking a plunge down hard, and Ramos trying to pick up the loose ball. Actually, he did not take a fall. He was trying to dive for that loose ball, and Cesar is okay.
Michael Hackett and Philip Cesar shake hands. Probably Michael Hackett appreciates a good defensive play, just like what Philip put on. He controls the tap, and so the Ginebra San Miguel on the offensive move.
During that break, Tito Loizaga seeing action for the first time, and we have an offensive rebound coming from the mighty Bucket. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. We're in the first quarter.
3-point shot again by Michael Young. Quickly Hackett down on a fast break play.
Here is Ampalayo, lost control. Jaworski, and here is Hackett. Hackett inside. Knocking in now his 6-point and pulling down 3 offensive rebounds, and he converted them all.
That's right. Down to a 10-point lead. Ginebra San Miguel 14. Great Taste Coffee Makers 24.
Drive and draw. Going to Ramos is open. That'll be the 4th rebound. Good save by Dynamite from the wings.
There's going to be an offensive foul called on on Dondon Ampalayo for pushing off against Bernard Fabiosa.
Prior to that fall of Philip Cesar, he's okay. I was trying to make a point that Coach Baby D had a long talk with his team, telling his players, don't commit those number of turnovers that we had the last time here in Ultra. We have Twadless coming off the bench. At the corner, it is Brown and looking for a cutter. Finding Young.
Some problems there as Michael Hackett had to switch off against Twadless. Left Sonny Jaworski guarding Michael Young there at the 3-second area.
Running shot coming from Joey. Ampalayo under the basket.
And you have to credit Michael Hackett for keeping that ball alive.
He flicked it towards Ampalayo.
Another slick spot on that court, which referee Bayais, who by the way is coming off a vacation.
Well, welcome to the PBA games, and that's the right thing to do, because that could be a very dangerous spot, pretty close to the basket. Atoy Ko being dispatched, seeing action for the first time.
Yes, we don't want to see any more injuries than we have seen so far in this semifinals. Definitely it destroys the beautiful ball games that have been displayed if you have a key player out on injuries or hurting when he's playing.
Not only that, partner, during crucial moments, and then there's a turnover, and it's because of the mahogany.
That's very true, Pingo. We have a crowd here of about 6,000-7,000 right now, quite early into the ball game, and definitely a very reactive one.
By the way, if you're wondering why a good number of Cagers are sporting Grosby rubber shoes, well, Grosby has been named official basketball shoes of the PBA. Here's the combination of Coach Baby D. Atoy Ko being covered by Joey Loizaga. Here is Ricardo Brown going to Twadless. Hackett gets to the quick bound box. Quick release.
Gets a good bounce there. Ups the lead of Great Taste to 12 points, 28-16.
Ricardo Brown 8 points, but hot. Michael Young with 17 and 2 rainbow shots. Shot block coming from Ramos. Loose ball picked up by Ricardo Brown, and it slips slippery. And very quickly, the ragman is there. It is 28-16 for Great Taste.
Again, another switch off, and Hackett is just starting there underneath the 3-second area. Michael Young makes the 2 points, looking for the foul.
Great body control.
There's going to be a warning called against Great Taste probably for delaying the ball game.
A 14-point lead being enjoyed by Great Taste Coffee to the score of 30-16. Time down to 4 minutes, first quarter.
Ramos helping a lot on the defensive boards.
Coach Baby D knows exactly whom to call for. Jump shot coming from Ricardo Brown. He will go to the line. That'll be the second against Michael Hackett.
3 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the first quarter. Definitely a Great Taste ball game up to this point. They have controlled the momentum. They have played better defense. They have scored well.
Ampalayo is going to be rested, and coming off the bench is Anthony Mendoza. Ampalayo scored a basket, pulling down 2 rebounds, 1 and 1.
32-16. So the Great Taste Coffee Makers have doubled the output of Ginebra San Miguel. Atoy Ko in the ball game, who had replaced Bernard Fabiosa earlier. Hackett with a power move.
And Michael Young was holding on, and he certainly had his feet planted on the ground, and he felt busted. What a pass by Michael Young, and play completed by Ricardo Brown.
He's such an offensive threat that 2 or 3 Ginebras picking him up in the quarter court leaves a lot of teammates open underneath the basket.
Ramos really hustling. 34-18 for great taste, and a body foul is going to go against Ramos, and he gets a 5 from Ricardo Brown. Likes his aggressiveness. Time is 3:14. We're in the first quarter.
Just got reports that Bernard Fabiosa will have to go to the hospital. Some stitches has to be implanted on his finger. Sonny Jaworski with a 3-point shot.
And Atoy Ko is running, but nobody saw him. Michael Young. He will go for seconds.
Babying his second shot, however.
Jaworski takes the point. Dynamite in Rainbow Country.
Yes, sir.
Loizaga here in the semifinals is 50% from the three-point area. Ricardo Brown found himself open.
So he stepped on the white line. So it was about 22-foot shot. He missed the 1/4 of an inch.
As Andy said, that's the white line. Anything before that, three-point area, and they changed the color just to be able to be distinct from the amateur teams that are competing here also in Ultra.
Yes, and they're using a green line, At the same time, I think it should make, people watching on black and white television, make it very clear, that line.
A 13-point lead being enjoyed by Great Taste. At the corner, Michael Young. He knows that Hackett has 2 personal fouls. No stopping Michael Young.
Seems to always have a good game against Ginebra San Miguel. Just like what he's having here in the first quarter.
Good thinking on the part of Joey. He was getting out of control. Tapped it towards Jaworski. Here comes Dynamite. Oh, that could have counted. The foul is going to go against Tuadles. We have a timeout. We have 1 minute and 45 seconds left here in the first quarter. And during the break, there was a verbal recognition on one of the aspects of Ricardo Brown's performance.
Yes, Pingoy, Ricardo Brown was just, there was an announcement that he had just completed his 2,000 assists. The 8th person to have done that in the PBA. Other luminaries who have done that are Sonny Jaworski and Mon Fernandez. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Yoyong Martires also had that. So, it's really surprising because Brown has only been in the league 6 years, and he's such a great shooter that you don't expect him to give up that many kind of passes.
Alan Kaidik, by the way, Andy just checked in for the first time, and Jaworski will be keeping an eye on him.
Well, the guys who have completed 2,000 assists are Sonny Jaworski, Francis Arnaiz, Atoy Ko, Ramon Fernandez, Bernard Fabiosa, Philip Cesar, and Willie Generalao.
And Ricardo Brown scores on 20 feet out. He has now pumped in 16 points. Michael Young at 21.
17-point lead for Great Taste. 1 minute and 18 seconds left. Hackett gets the ball down at low.
From Rainbow Country, a hurried shot coming from Dynamite. 40-23 for Great Taste. Back to Tuadles, looking for a cutter. Atoy Ko. When Atoy Ko scores, and then Philip Cesar, the team that they're playing, can forget it.
That's right, because Atoy definitely will get a lot of playing time with Bernard out for a while at least, because he is at the hospital. And so definitely Atoy in tandem with Ricardo Brown, both great shooters, going to mean some problems for Ginebra, especially with this break going on for Great Taste.
And the reason that Fabiosa, just in case you didn't pick it up earlier, is in the hospital is because he hurt his hand, and some fingers, or maybe the middle, will require some stitches.
That's right. This is going to be another big problem for Ginebra. Mendoza giving up the foul against Kaidik. He scores. He has a chance for a 3-point play. They're on top by 19. Great first quarter for Great Taste. 44 points already at this point.
What happened to Great Taste was that, number one, they imposed their will with the backs against the wall.
That's right.
That they were going to get this game.
And
so they were mentally prepared for that.
That's right, Pingo. I think they wanted to come out smoking in the first quarter because they want to take the crowd away from the home court advantage, as you would say, for Ginebra. You know, go to a big lead and take that crowd, make them quiet.
And the second point, Michael Young, in spite of his injury, is not even thinking about it. Dynamite is rested. We have
Latosa, Saldi Latosa coming into the ball game.
Isaac back in the ball game. He will put it up hard. Jaworski blocked from the blind side by Kai Dick. They have 5 seconds to put it up. What a spin by Twadless.
No better guy to do it. And a 47 first quarter for the Great Taste Coffee Makers.
47-23 for Great Taste.
71% field goal shooting for Great Taste Coffee Makers against 40% for Ginebra. 12 rebounds apiece for both teams. 10 assists for Great Taste as compared to 3 for Ginebra. And Great Taste did not commit a turnover in the first quarter. They had 4 or 5 interceptions in that first quarter.
A one-hand drive on a fast break. It is Twadless, and that was initiated by the reaching in qualities of Ricardo Brown.
Certainly Great Taste looking for revenge against Ginebra San Miguel, whom they beat twice in the elimination. But when it counted, Ginebra came up with a 1-point victory, 119-118. They want to make sure, that they can get a good lead and put this game away as much as possible. Good pass by Ricardo Brown to Kai Dick, another assist for him.
47 points at the end of the first quarter.
That's right, Pingoy. We also got reports it's a conference high for any team. And so far, the conference high for points scored in this conference is also being held by the Great Taste Coffee Makers. Follow-up shot there for Ampalayo.
Well, during the first quarter, Michael Young scored 21 points and 2 rainbow shots. Ricardo Brown knocking in 16. Cesar had 2 points, a screen from Fabiosa before he hurt his hand. Heidick with 3 points and Twadless with 2.
Miscommunication between Young and Brown. He was looking at the basket for a possible follow-up. Ampalayo, back-to-back baskets. Tries to get the team back, and he's really developed into a super power forward for the team.
But it is 51-29 for Great Taste Coffee, an uphill climb for Ginebra.
3-point shot by Atoy Ko, offline.
Here is Jaworski. He will do a one-hander, the barreling J.
And that really gets the crowd up. A 6-0 blast by Ginebra San Miguel cuts down that lead to 20.
8 points for Jaworski, making his first 4 during the first quarter. He's also pulled down 2 rebounds, 1 and 1. Michael Hackett continues to keep an eye on Young.
They slow down the tempo of a ball game. Young taking it from outside. It's a 3-point shot.
That'll be his 3rd rainbow shot.
24 points now for Michael Young.
Hackett, on the other hand, had 10 points during the first quarter, and he has pulled down 6 rebounds, 2 points, the first 2 coming from Isaac.
Improved shooting now on the part of the Ginebra San Miguel squad. Brown gets clobbered, yes. Good shot block by Don Ampalayo.
Going to the big J, drive and draw.
Look at the hustle of Sonny Jaworski keeping the ball alive, and they score.
Michael Young found himself outside the court, and he thought that they were going to have possession.
That's right.
So he just parked for a while, trying to catch his second breath. And then he was a little bit too late in coming to defense. He said, here they come. Atoyko misses on a drive. Ginebra is on the move. They're taking it step by step. An air pass going to Ampalayo. A turnaround shot. And he gets it.
Ampalayo with 6 points in this quarter. Highest lead of 26 has been cut down to 17, Pingoy.
And Ginebra never tasted the lead and never got the first basket. It was Great Taste that got off to a blazing start, 6-0. It is now 54-37 for Great Taste. Ricardo Brown from Rainbow Country, back rim shot. Latosa at the stretch to get the defensive rebound. Here is the big J. And the quick Brown Fox with his quick hands. Atoyko press going to Hackett. Here he comes for a basket.
Yes, sir. Atoyko with some very crucial miscues here. The lead has been cut down to 15 points. A 14-3 blast, the 3 coming from the 3-point shot of Michael Young.
And the fans of Ginebra San Miguel, they're alive. Can you imagine playing Ginebra in the court with this type of a momentum, and then the crowd You got to go nuts.
Yes, partner. If that lead wasn't this big, if it had been about 15, they would have been in trouble. Baby Dalupan senses it, he calls a timeout.
After trailing by 24 points, a 14-3 roll here established by Ginebra San Miguel, and Coach Baby D reacts to the situation and makes some adjustments by fielding back the scholar Philip Cesar because he does not like the interior defense of Great Taste Coffee.
You're very correct, Pingoy. Ampalayo has been getting away with undergoal shots, and certainly Jaworski has driven in a couple of times here in the second quarter. At the same time, there's a three-point shot by Kai Dick. Same time, he sends in Ramos, whom he knows can help out in rebounds. There's Ramos diving for the ball, causing Isaac to lose the ball to the end line. Who's this guy? Ampalayo, I'm sorry.
Ampalayo may have hurt himself trying to dive for the loose ball. He's still on the floor. Time is 7:29.
He's holding onto his ankle, Pingoy.
And a 30-second injury timeout is being given. Watch it once more. I'm looking for the ankles. Oh, yes. A player from Great Taste landed on it.
Ramos,
but
actually.
I think he'll be able to shake it off. He's got to work on it. And during our times when we were playing tennis, we'd always get that true orange bottle.
Yes, and roll it there. But there was a guy we used to have here in the pros who was known as the Iron Man. If you remember him, Jimmy Noblisada.
The late Jimmy.
Yes, and he just retired from the games. And he's a businessman right now. I still see him a lot, And Jimmy.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right.
Jimmy,
it's a different Jimmy I was referring to.
Yes, Jimmy would just. You're talking about Jimmy Otaso.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And Jimmy would just shake it off by pounding it on the floor. That's why they call him the Iron Man.
Yes. And it is now 54-39 for Great Taste Coffee. On the matchup here, Ginebra defense. It's Isaac on Ricardo Brown. Michael Hackett as usual against Young. They go to Ricardo Brown, who's open.
That's a very good play. The big man, Michael Young, screening for Ricardo Brown. No way that the guard of Ricardo could fight that screen. It left him with an open shot.
Here is Jaworski. Ramos on him. Top player two. Posting low is Hackett. Time to look for a cutter. Timing his move. Offline. Tap going to Cesar. Here is Ricardo Brown. What a pass. What a bounce pass. Play completed by Cesar.
And if you make that kind of a pass to a veteran like Philip Cesar, he's going to put in the 2 points. So you're very relaxed. Ramos doing some good defense against Sonny Jaworski. Isaac recovers with 13 seconds left on their shot clock.
Time is 6:35. We're in the second quarter. Score standing at 58-39 for Great Taste Coffee. They go to Hackett.
He's got 2 seconds left. And the 25-second shot clock is going to catch up with them.
By the way, our greetings to Mayor Jojo Binay and the people of Makati on the occasion of Makati's 416th anniversary. And in case you don't know, Mayor Binay has lined up a number of activities for the whole week to celebrate Araw ng Makati.
It's going to be another foul on Michael Hackett. That's going to be his third personal foul.
Just like to report to you, during that 4-3 roll by Ginebra San Miguel, 6 points coming from Ampalayo. Jaworski knocked in 4 points out of his 8. 4 points from Isaac, all of them happening during the second quarter. And then you had 2 points coming from Hackett out of his 12. And when that was happening, the Great Taste Coffee makers were quiet. There was a basket, a rainbow shot from Michael Young, a 2-pointer coming from Ricardo Brown, who now has 18.
2 follow-ups there for the Great Taste Coffee makers. The ball wouldn't fall in.
Isaac is open from 15. He did not get the shooter's bounce with Cesar under the basket. He prevents Ginebra from taking the offensive boards and going for seconds.
That's right.
Quickly to Young, who turns around, letting go.
Yes, Young shooting over Dante Gonzalgo, who is about 3-4 inches shorter than he is. Had no problems making the shot. He has 26 points in the ball game right now.
And Michael Young has knocked in 3 rainbow shots, 21 points during the first quarter. And has also pulled down 9 rebounds, 5 and 4. You get a basket from Dante Gonzalgo. That'll be his first 2 points. It is a 20-point lead being enjoyed by Great Taste. La Tosa has one job and tried to get the defensive rebound. Dante Gonzalgo, spurts going to Hackett. He will go for the basket. Hard. La Tosa under.
They're going to miss Ampalayo for a while because of the fact that Ampalayo crushes the boards very hard for the team. So they're relying on a guy like Salvi Latosa and Dante Gonzalvo, who's playing very tough defense there against Philip Cesar.
Anticipated the pass intended for the scholar. And speaking of Latosa, after getting his first basket, he has pulled down 6 rebounds, 5 and 1. Here is Michael Young looking for the opening. Oh, that could have counted.
Michael Young showing some speed against Michael Hackett, especially after using a screen there. Latosa giving up the foul to Young. 27 points for Big Mike here, as you call him, the rifleman from Houston.
Both thighs heavily taped. If you're watching in color, you can see just below his jersey and his shorts, that blue thing. Those are heavily and tightly keeping the muscles together. Jaworski. Gonzalgo from the wing. Jaworski from 17.
Hackett, good timing on the rebound. And he loses the ball. He's mad at the referee, looking for the foul, and he'll probably be given a warning.
But that's good for Michael. You haven't seen this, you know, and he is really with a high level of intensity. Watch him. He could be a vacuum cleaner.
That's right.
Great Taste in front by 20. Jump shot coming from Ricardo Brown and shot block from Isaac. Michael Young playing with 3 personal fouls. No, it is Michael Hackett. Michael Young is clean. 29 points for Young. He'll take it from Rainbow Country. Heidick for the offensive rebound. Short. Here he comes again. Michael Young.
Another steal by Heidick. He's in the 3-point territory.
He gets fouled in the act of shooting. It'll go against Dante Gonzalgo for his first personal foul. Two team fouls at the moment, being carried by Ginebra San Miguel. One against Great Taste. Joey Loizaga favoring his left ankle. Back on the floor. And we have a timeout. Incidentally, Adidas is the official outfitter of the PBA. Time is 4:11 here in the second quarter. And at halftime, we will be bringing you Burlington basketball tips with host Norman Black demonstrating the charging violation. There's Michael Young. See the blue tape, both thighs.
We have Arnie Tuadles coming into the ball game for Ramos.
Ramos gave you quality minutes. He did not score, but he was doing many things. Pulled down 2 rebounds, disturbed a lot of plays, and came up with 1 shot block.
That's expected of him. He knows his role in the team. It's not really to score with guys like Brown, Young, Kaidik, Tuadles, Ko. There's too many shooters on the team. Somebody's got to do defense. Somebody's got to come up with the defensive, offensive rebounds, and he does those things.
Here's Isaac. Loose ball picked up, and Kaidik did that.
Oh, great pass by Arnie Tuadles. Easy layup as he drew 2 defensive men to him. If you could see that play in slow-mo, you could see that the way the Ginebra San Miguel reacted to defense was completely wrong. Because 2 guys picking up somebody, leaving somebody open.
Dante Gonzalgo looking for a cutter. Finds it in Isaac. Michael Young pulling down his 10th rebound, 6 and 4.
24-point lead, 3-point shot by Kaidik. And if it goes in, that's going to be the biggest lead for Great Taste in this ball game. 27-point lead.
Alan Kaidik, a factor here in the second quarter. He has knocked in 9 points out of his 12. Michael Young has come back to score after 21, adding another 8 for 29 so far. Ricardo Brown has not been attempting as many times as he did during the first quarter. What he's trying to do is to set up plays, hitting the open man, and maintaining the tempo for Great Taste. Jaworski rests.
We have Adbani coming into the ball game for Isaac. Chito Loizaga coming in for Ampalayo, who obviously is hurt, walking off with a limp. Hackett has his way there in that play.
Only the 4th point out of 14 coming from Hackett. Jaworski, 8 points and 4 rebounds. Here is Twadless looking for Cesar.
Oh, very tight pass there.
Good presence of mind from Kai Dick, and he continues to move without the ball. Bad play, interception by Hackett. And here comes Dante Gonzalgo. Twadless is there, shot clock.
There's going to be an offensive foul called against Dante Gonzalgo.
Dante Gonzalgo, when he went up for the attempt, warded with his left arm, and the composure was admirable on the part of Twadless. He didn't get bothered by that hand push, and he just blocked that shot, just in case. Michael Young on a turnaround shot, clean as a whistle.
Definitely he's back to his shooting ways. 27-point lead again, and very high 72 points at this point for the Great Taste Coffee Makers, who have made it an offensive game.
Did not get the roll. Quickly to Cesar. Dynamite waiting for him. Twadless. Quick ball movement.
They're getting a lot of breaks because in that play, Michael Hackett came from behind. Actually helped Kaidik tap the ball to Twadless, who was free underneath.
And the lead of Great Taste Coffee continues to grow at 29. Advani did not expect that pass. Short. Here comes again Dante Gonzalgo.
Still no basket, and Hackett finally puts a period to everything.
A minute and 35. The quick brown fox is fouled. That'll be the first against Chito Loizaga.
18 points for Ricardo Brown. Sonny Jaworski, coach of Ginebra, on your screens. 2 team fouls only against Great Taste. 5 against Ginebra San Miguel. A minute and 34. So nobody in penalty. Would hardly matter at this point with a minute and 34.
And this lead of Great Taste appears to be insurmountable.
Yes, and you can see the intensity in their game. You know, Great Taste has shown that it can collapse in the 4th quarter in the 4 losses that they've had so far in this conference. But the way they're playing tonight, Pingoy, it's with a capital F as far as fervor is concerned.
A shot block, but a body foul is going to go against Dante Gonzalgo.
They're not getting any breaks either, Ginebra San Miguel, you know.
That'll be his 3rd personal foul. Watch it once more on the slow-mo without looking. A bounce pass. Good catch by Cesar. And there's a body foul.
You know, those kind of calls are really something that can titillate either a crowd, whether you're for or against a team, because it was a good shot block, and you might as well let it go. And the offensive team will still throw in, you know.
But the official sees a foul. He has to call it.
But it's, yeah, well, in this case, he called a body foul. 30-point lead right now.
Dante Gonzalgo wants to get it right back. Almost had it. Here comes the mighty bucket. $18 points for Hackett. Adding another 8 out of that 18 here in the 2nd quarter. Michael Young with 31. Ricardo Brown with 20 points. Tries to disengage from Advani, and that'll be a holding foul against Advani. The lip or the tooth of Ricardo Brown is in place.
17 fouls now for Ginebra with 43 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. Ricardo Brown trying to fish for the fouls. Drops passes to Philip. He's down on the floor too.
Accidental. And Advani quickly extending a helping hand.
Hackett should see that guy coming in. Yes, Gonzalgo gets the feed.
25 seconds before the end of the 1st half. 79-51 for Great Taste. Joey Loizaga never gives up. Joey Loizaga now 6 points. Time down to 5 seconds.
Young timing it perfectly. Try to get the last shot. Yes, it is the last shot of the 2nd quarter.
What an explosion here. Well maintained by Great Taste. 81 to the 53, 121. That's the 2nd time that they met during the 2nd round of the eliminations. And that was way back April 30. Again, it was Great Taste against the Ginebra San Miguel. Score then, if you will recall, 152 to 140. The first time that Ginebra San Miguel defeated Great Taste Coffee was last May 28 as we started the first round of the double round robin of the semifinals by 1 point, 119 to 118 in a cardiac finish.
That's right. The first 2 points of the third quarter coming from Michael Young. Ricardo Brown adds another 2, and the lead has ballooned to 32 points, 85 to 53.
And indeed, this is the biggest and largest lead of the coffee makers.
Ginebra has lost Don Ampalayo in this ball game. We don't see him on the bench anymore at this point.
Jump shot hard coming from Dante Gonzalgo, and they really had Joey Leizaga well covered, but a body contact is going to go against one of the coffee makers, against Toiko. That'll be his first personal.
Joey Leizaga with 6 points in the ball game right now. Will take 2 from the 15-foot line. He makes the first. He's a pretty good free throw shooter. If you say pretty good, so far he's been 100% here in the semifinals, going there 11 out of 11 and now 13 out of 13.
And Joey's been averaging 14.3 points per game, has a high of 19. Quickly now to Dante Gonzalgo, picked up by Joey from the wings.
He's got a pretty quick jump shot too. You can see that when he picked up the ball in one motion without dribbling, he went up in the air for the shot, and he made it too. So he has the 4 points of Ginebra here in the third quarter.
Back tap by Joey Leizaga.
Earlier I saw their father, Kaloy Leizaga, moving to the bench, to the back of the bench of Ginebra San Miguel, probably giving his 2 sons some encouraging words. No?
Well, he's trying to give them that animal spirit. That's right. And they had Michael Young well covered. Dante Gonzalgo did not give him room. And before he knew it, it was coming out of the other side of the board.
Yes, he threw up a very poor shot selection, as we would say. 28-point lead. Hackett gets the ball at low post, no double team, and he gets the easy 2 points.
Hackett scored 10 points during the first quarter, adding another 8 during the second period. That was his 20th point against Michael Young. Young has scored 35 so far here in this ball game. Ricardo Brown,
snap shot there.
Lead pass to Joey.
1-on-3 situation.
The Spitfire brings it in. No basket, however. And Young pulls down his 11th rebound, 7 and 4. Playing hurt, and he doesn't bother with it.
Slows down the ball game a little bit.
I think what Michael Young told himself is going to be mind over matter. Awkward shot. Oh, it was almost effective. Down on the floor is Dynamite that crashed against Philip Cesar. Cesar on his feet. Here is Jaworski looking for an opening. He'll take it from 16.
Yes, sir. Good shot. Gets to a position wherein his man was screened off. That was Atoy Ko. The lead has been cut down to 24.
Ginebra has to be patient. They have to take it one at a time. At the same time, trying to tighten their defense. They've got to be very quick in their rotations. Because so far, the production partner, as you pointed out, has been concentrated on Ricardo Brown and Michael Young.
That's right. There's a foul given up by Dante Gonzalgo. Atoy drives through the baseline. What you can see, obviously, for Great Taste is they've slowed down a little bit. I don't think anybody can run for 48 minutes. So Great Taste slowing down here a little bit. There's a good block by Michael Hackett on Young.
And they will lose it to the baseline. Ginebra San Miguel will keep, and you've got to admire that hustle by Kai Dick. And he gets a rest, and we have the return of Quadles.
This is where Great Taste is missing a guy like Fabiosa, because Fabiosa will never go down court. And when Kai Dick tapped that ball, you can almost believe that Fabiosa is going to pick up that loose ball, because he's always there hustling the guy with the ball. So he'll be around that area, and he's very quick to pick up balls like that.
Well, we certainly hope that the damage on the hand is not going to be as bad.
From the elbow of Chico Leizaga. Dr. Ben Salud, the PBA physician attending to it. He seems to be all right. Big smile there by Chito.
Broke his skin. Got a little wound.
But they're as tough as they can be.
They go to Hackett. They're trying to double. Spin shot. Young on the run. going to the open man. The quick brown fox has scored.
That's the advantage of Michael over many other players, his ability to dribble and pass off on a fast break, despite the fact that he's about 230 pounds.
Michael Young was on his bicycle. Before you knew it, he was right there defending under the basket.
All they have to do is get the ball to Hackett, and it would have been some problems for Atoy Ko, but the outside shot coming from Dante.
Dante Gonzalgo now has scored 6 points. He's also pulled down 6 rebounds, 4 and 2. Time is 8 and 10 seconds here in the third. Atoy Ko. Inside to Twadless. Jaworski on him. And Jaworski just kept on poking, trying to stop Twadless during his first personal foul.
You know, Arnie is not very easy to guard because he has a low post game, you know, and definitely he's one of the few players of great pace. He knows how to post up well.
And he scores his first from the line. Twadless had 2 points during the first quarter, adding another 4 during the second period. Ended up the first half with 6 points. Cesar is rested. And here's the impact player, Ramos, back on the floor.
Two out of 2 for Arnie Twadless. 26-point lead again. This 89 to 63. Twadless also 100% from the free throw line during the semifinals. Outside shot by Dante Gonzalgo, who seems to be getting hot.
Now he has scored back-to-back baskets. Young drawing. Hackett is playing with 3 personal fouls. When you stay a little bit too close,
you know he's going to drive, especially if you don't cover the left side, where he loves to go. 3-point shot by Loizaga offline. Nobody to pick up the loose ball recovery, and a double dribble called against Dante Gonzalgo.
And we have a turnover. Right now, our story in fouls, only 2 called against Ginebra San Miguel to the 1 of Great Saves. 7 and 25 here in the third. 91-65. Great taste. Offline from Atoy Ko. Twadless with the offensive rebound, looking for the open man, being pressed by Dante Gonzalgo. Foul is going to go against Gonzalgo. That'll be his second. Double checking that, we have our situation on personal fouls. Gonzalgo, 5 personal fouls, not 2 as I reported earlier.
And these are more problems as Ricardo Brown hits a 3-point shot.
Ricardo Brown's first rainbow shot. Michael Young knocked in 3 during the first half. Someone was in the blue paint, and his man was a mile away. So, warning on illegal defense.
You get somebody hot, and all of a sudden he commits his 5th personal foul. Problems are really mounting for Ginebra San Miguel. 3-point shot by Sonny Jaworski, and Ramos comes up with a tough rebound.
To the cutting Michael Young from Atoy Ko. Jaworski gets away. Taps on a dime, and he gets the shooter's bounce.
You know, I think Great Taste certainly wants to enter the 4th quarter with a bigger lead as they had at the first half. I'm sure that they don't want to see any more collapses coming from their team. So definitely they're coming up with high percentage shots here in the 3rd quarter, trying to nurse that 28-point lead they had at the first half. And like I say, Twadless really has a good low post game. Mendoza having some problems with him. Good spin there by Hackett, and the foul given up by Ramos, however.
Tried to extend help defense, was all over the back of Hackett, who was spinning for the basket. That'll be the 2nd personal foul against Ramos. Watch how it happens once more. Hit him on the back. The mighty bucket.
20 points in this ball game, makes his first free throw. 83% shooter from the 15-foot line, 19 out of 23.
Averaging 35 points here in the semifinals. Has a conference high of 54 points.
Ramos is going to be called for a traveling violation. Either that or he would have been called for charging. So he'll take the traveling violation, keep himself in the ball game.
It is 98-69 for Great Taste.
3-point shot by Joey Loizaga.
Up by Dynamite, and here comes Joey. He will challenge. Hackett is under, and a foul coming from Ramos. Just a reflex from Ramos, and
Yes.
he cringed. He knew it.
It's a kneeing foul. We have another timeout We'll be back. Because I'm hungry.
Joey sees the big man. Enough is enough, says Young, who just pulled down his 13th rebound, 8 and 5. Wallace at the corner. Mendoza on him.
Isolation play for Arnie Tuadles.
Jaworski pulling down his 4th rebound. Make it 5, 3 and 2.
He's
From
in the
Rainbow
three-quarter.
Country.
Hackett positioning himself easy for an offensive rebound, the easy 2 points. The lead has been cut down to 25. Only 5 minutes left here in the third quarter, however. Great Bay's game has really slowed down a lot.
Hackett has scored 8 points out of 26 here in the third quarter. He's also pulled down 11 rebounds.
Young gives them 100 points with that outside flip from 20.
And it's happening with 4 and 4 here in the third. Jaworski will try again.
Yes, sir. He's a 41% shooter so far here in the semifinals. 9 out of 22 before this ball game.
Michael Young fouled on the act of shooting.
It's going to be against Hackett. That's going to be his 4th personal foul.
Watch it once more. Brought to you by San Miguel Beer on this slow-mo action. And Hackett probably is asking one question. It's written across his face. Is he hurt or not?
Yes, because Michael's showing a lot of movements. But definitely you can see he's not 100%. You have not seen Michael dunk after the first game of the semifinals. Well, and you know he's a leaper. You know?
When he was playing for you last year, he was always skying.
Yes, and definitely he can. You know, he's a leaper. What's happened to him is that every time he goes up there in the air and he comes down bad, he can feel that groin injury really hurting.
Mendoza gets the offensive rebounds. Joey will try it.
Jaworski with the hustle, but not enough space on the floor to be able to save that ball.
You know, looking around, Andy, you've got to accept the fact that the PBA has gotten to be a family affair. There's a little girl, there's a little boy with mama and daddy, and this PBA is an institution, and we have a turnover. And speaking of families, you know, the other time, A.B. Batong, the executive vice president of Philprom, brought his children to watch the PBA games. And now the same children will be fans of the PBA as they grow older. And we want to say hello to Mon, Mary Claire, and Mary Rose. Keep on watching the PBA.
Great fans of the PBA.
Mendoza keeps it alive, spotting the open man, but no basket from Dynamite. Tapped out going to Jaworski, who was playing trailer. And he lost control. He bubbled for a bit. And the Coffee Makers are on the run on a 3-and-1 situation. Jaworski. Inside to Mendoza. Tuadles is there.
Tuadles with some great defense. We're going to have another timeout. We'll be back.
That is a very popular face, and that is the famous nose belonging to
Abby King, together with his wife, Ligaya Pascual King.
You know, his profile is getting better and better.
As Joe Cantada called him before, he really looks like Errol Flynn.
During that last break, Ducat was sent in for the first time. There's a cut by Isaac, back at the floor. That could have counted down on the floor. The foul is going to go against Ricardo Brown.
2 free throws for Leo Isaac and 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the third quarter. Sonny Jaworski, getting no mileage at all from Anthony Mendoza, decides to send in 6'5" Dukut, hoping at least he can help on the boards and maybe come up with some good screens for the shooters of the squad.
And coming off the bench is the sixth man.
For the first time tonight, however,
Carpio in for Tuadles. And Tuadles contributed 4 points out of his 10 right here in the third quarter, aside from pulling down 2 rebounds, 1 and 1, and coming up with 1 shot block. 103-72 for Great Taste with 2 minutes and 36 seconds. We're in the third quarter.
Dukut.
Oh, you saw that, huh?
Yes, Dukut assigned to Michael Young with Hackett having 4 personal fouls. Gives up his first foul. 5 team fouls now for Ginebra.
Michael Young puts it up.
He wants to shoot in the face of Dukut. That's also a 3-point shot for Michael.
His fourth. Knocked away by Kai Dick. Kai Dick is a machine. Always executing the perpetual motion.
Especially on defense, you know. He's come up with a lot of tap outs or causing interceptions together with Philip Cesar in this ball game. Good spin move there by Leo Isaac.
106-79 for Great Taste. They have never relinquished the lead. Changing pace, and Ricardo Brown will go to the line. Foul on Isaac. That'll be his third personal.
And the way they're playing, Pingoy, I don't think they intend to relinquish the lead, as you would say.
Well, you established a key point that Coach Baby D is not going to permit the attitude of the team to relax and lose wind or concentration during the fourth quarter. So he says, you got to prove to me that you've got to really pound and display that lethal and vaunted shooting power.
That's right. If you notice, in contrast to the last game against Tanduay, wherein Brown and Young were rested with about 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Right now, even though he has a very big lead, Young and Brown are both on the court really playing their hearts out, you know. And you need leaders like this to keep your lead there in the ball game.
Behind the back pass going to Dukut. Jaworski keeps it alive. The heart and soul of Ginebra. Here is the mighty bucket.
Can't believe Sonny got it in the chin in that play, and the referee is going to call. He got it
bleeding.
Yes, he's bleeding from the eyebrow.
He has a cut, and that's a bleedy part. That's a bloody part.
I wonder if we caught that play, because there were a lot of jockeying for position during that offensive rebound sequence. And all of a sudden, he came out.
Here it is. He already had it. Maybe if we can backtrack a little bit, and Jaworski may have to be rested. They have to stop the bleeding. And just like boxers, that part of your face really is a bloody part. Michael Young looks at Dukut, and Dukut is not blinking.
Yes. A deliberate foul was called against Dukut in that play. And you know, this ball game is it's a big lead right now for Great Taste. What they don't want it to happen in this ball game, and neither does Ginebra, is it to deteriorate into a rugged game. You know, we can't afford any suspensions or injuries for players. As the conference, as the semifinals, there's still 2 games for both of these squads.
Well, I always go for a spirited game, but when your intention is off to the left, approval.
That's right. Neither from anybody, you know, who appreciates the ball game. You play it as it is. Sonny Jaworski is being administered to. He got a cut on the eyebrow.
Left side. 1:26. We're in the third quarter with the score standing 110-81. Great Taste. Here is the mighty bucket. He will challenge, and he gets a bucket. 12 points out of his 30 happening here in the third quarter. 49 big points coming from Michael Young, backed up with a 29 of Ricardo Brown. Make it now 51 points and 4 rainbow shots from Young.
Drive-in play there by Joey Loizaga. Foul called against Atoy Ko.
That'll be his third personal. By the way, we will be singling out our choice for best player right after this match. And he'll be receiving a gift package from Home Pride Noodles.
Another foul called on Atoy Ko, which will send Chito Loizaga to the 15-foot line.
That'll place great taste in penalty situation. Ginebra San Miguel found themselves in that situation with 1:37 to go during the third quarter. Right now it's 55, Andy.
That's his first point here in the second half. Chito Loizaga had 3 points on a rainbow shot in the first half of play, and he has 5 in this ball game so far.
And Dynamite has been averaging just below 11 points per game here in the semifinals with a high of 15, but in the conference high, 29. Here's Hackett. Anticipated. Good interception. Kaidek will score.
Yes, Ricardo Brown did not go for the basket. He wanted to give it to Kaidek, who was the one who initiated that steal. Chito Loizaga moving back farther. Easy follow-up for Hackett, but Brown gives up the foul, so it'll be 2 free throws for Michael Hackett.
Brown reached in for that basket. He was going to make it difficult for Hackett, who brought the ball down just a bit, and the quick Brown Fox was right there.
Definitely Hackett wanted to gain a little momentum before bringing it up, use the glass. We're going to see Aaron Torres probably in for Ricardo Brown with 23 seconds left in the quarter. Yes, Brown now being given relief by Aaron Torres.
Ricardo Brown knocked in 20 points during the first half, adding another 9 here in the third quarter for 29, and also 1 rainbow shot. Brown has also pulled down 3 rebounds, 1 and 2.
Torres being egged on by the crowd to take a shot even though he was beyond the half-court line.
It always happens. Ducot, as a warning, continues to keep an eye on Young. Don't be surprised if Young just puts it up. Here it is from Rainbow Country. Short.
Well, Young was using the time trying to take the last shot for the team.
At the end of the third, it is great taste, looking strong. Michael Young scored 18 points out of his 51 during the third quarter. And as we unfold the fourth and last period, the score standing 114-87 for great taste. Just below the key. Michael Young quickly looking upstairs. Neat pass to Kaidek. A little bit too high and a little bit too strong.
Pass came about a second late. If he had come up from the defensive rebound and gave up the pass, Kaidek would have been all alone. So happened there that the safety guard was coming in, so Michael had to loop a pass ahead of Kaidek.
It is a 27-point lead being enjoyed by the coffee makers from the wings.
Very little headway there made by the Ginebra San Miguel squad, cutting down the 28-point halftime lead to 27 at the end of the third quarter. And this is where Ginebra is strongest. Let's see if they can continue to do that. You know, even if they go on to lose this ball game, Pingoy, they'd have to look at where their strength is for the next 2 games that they have to play. And the, you know, there are some schedules arranged. I think the loser of this game will play the loser of the game in the next meeting, no? Kaidek with another 3-point shot.
That'll be his second rainbow shot. He had his first during the second quarter. He ended the first half with 12 points.
There's a foul called on Alan Kaidek, reaching in foul against Chito Loizaga.
Well, if you just joined us and you're wondering, hey, where is DJ doing the tough jobs, Fabiosa? He had to be sent to the hospital. His hand required stitches. And you ask now, where's Ampalayo? How come he's not on the floor? He twisted. Well, actually not twisted. Ramos landed on his left ankle for a scramble on a loose ball. Where's Jaworski? Jaworski had an accident, unintentional, and there was a cut on his left eyebrow. It attended to him. The bleeding has stopped, and he may come back. Here is Hackett.
And a pushing foul called against Joy Carpio. Yes, the intensity of the ball games have been taking its toll here in the semifinals.
We have a lot of walking wounded.
Everybody wants to be in the championship. That's the reason why there's a foul on Young. Hackett will take 2 from the 15-foot line.
Only the first foul against Young. On the other hand, Michael Hackett has been playing with 4 personal fouls. Hackett has scored 10 points during the first quarter, adding another 8 during the second period for 18 at the end of the first half.
Hackett missing his first free throw. Really frustration on his part. Last 2 games.
He scored 14 points during the third quarter, ending up with 32, split from the line, from the mighty bucket. Ricardo Brown changing pace.
Done.
At the wink of an eye.
Yes. His guard probably blinked when he looked. Ricardo was not there anymore.
That's what you get. And Ricardo Brown, 31 big points.
Chito Loizaga now getting into the offensive mood, coming up with some points here in the second half of play. 26-point lead, 10 minutes left in the ball game.
Hackett pulling down his 14th rebound. He has 6 and 8 in front. Out of the 8, he has scored 7 times.
Oh, Hackett coming from the outside, not establishing position. So a violation called against them. And Sonny Jaworski coming back.
You can see the tape above his left eyebrow. Joey Loizaga sits down. Loizaga with 10 points, a Spitfire. Also putting down 3 rebounds.
There's going to be a kneeing foul probably on Hackett. That's going to be his 5th. No, is it on Hackett? No. Yes, that's going to be his 5th personal foul.
This will restrict Hackett now. Ricardo Brown. The 6th man is open. Carpio scores.
Because of our boom mic, you could hear what Ricardo Brown was saying. Get in there. Good shot, Joy.
Getting his first 2 points from the corner. Dynamite gets it. Coming up with 10 points now. He had 1 rainbow shot. His first 3 points happening in the first quarter. And then he didn't score anymore during the balance of the first half. The fans have been encouraging Torres to score.
He's been trying to give them that opportunity. And there's Ducot, butterfingers, as you would say. No way he was going to make any shot.
He had his chance. Here is Ricardo Brown. Ricardo with 31 points. Takes it from the corner.
You know, and so far, Pingo, if you see a pattern for great taste, the only game they've won so far in the semifinals was against Magnolia, and he had 37 points in that ball game. Right now, he is 34.
Yes, and 2 rainbow shots, partner. And here in the semifinals, Ricardo Brown has been averaging just above 30 points per game. And a breakaway and a fast break. The first 2 points.
And even Torres gets into the scoring act.
And he comes up with a high five. Quickly recovered by Dynamite. Trying to do it. Got 7 points out of his 12 here in the fourth quarter.
He's been averaging 11, Pingoy. But this is one guy that if you were with Ginebra, you would hope would take more shots because his percentages are high. He takes good shot selections. And definitely you need him to help out.
Nobody boxed out. The 6th man, Carpio, tipping it in for his 4th point. Keep in mind that Hackett is playing with 5 personal fouls.
There's going to be another illegal defense called against Great Pace. Technical foul will be awarded to the Ginebra San Miguel squad.
They got the warning during the first half. Cordillera checks in for the first time. Playing coach Jaworski, signaling for the services of Advani. So Ducot is resting and Isaac is going to take a spell. Our story on team fouls. Great Case with 3 to the 2 of Ginebra San Miguel. Time is 7:55 for the 4th and last quarter. Jaworski. Trying to spin away from Kai Dick. Allen's third personal foul. The kid from Payete. And we have a timeout. Jaworski buries his second rainbow shot. Had his first during the third quarter for his 18th point. And Jaworski has also scored during the first half 8 points, pulling down 6 rebounds, 3 and 3. Playing with a cut in the left eyebrow. Michael Young, he knew shot clock was ticking away, and he got it with 3 seconds to spare. Odinera, he will challenge with the jump shot.
It's going to be another foul called against Ricardo Brown. His fourth, pushing off against Chito Loizaga in that play. 29-point lead for Great Taste.
The character of this ball game, Andy, was determined from the very first minute, with Great Taste scoring the first 6 points, displaying and showing their scoring power.
That's right. It's very similar to the game of the LA Lakers versus the Boston Celtics for the first game. Lakers storming off to a 9-point lead and never looking back after that.
6 minutes and 48 to go.
Adbani there with a great move. He's back to the basket using the glass, cutting down the lead to 25 with 6 minutes and a half in the ball game. Time is the enemy of the Ginebra San Miguel at this point.
You know, the shot of Adbani certainly was appreciated by the fans. Friend or foe?
There's going to be a block shot there by Hackett. Loizaga's all alone underneath. Jaworski with the baseball pitch, easy 2 points.
You know, Jaworski has that rare quality to be able to give you a shuttle pass up in the air on the run.
Yes, he's one of the few who can really throw that. Something like what Billy Walton used to do for the Portland Trail Blazers when he was there. He was one of the few guys who could throw up. Michael Young trying to get some semblance of shooting here, but Ginebra is on the rally trail.
Drive and draw by Jaworski. Knocked away by Hackett. No, by Michael Young. But the foul is going to go against Young. That'll be his second.
Yes, that'll mean 2 free throws there for Harmon Codinera. Torres finally being replaced by Atoy Ko. 16 fouls already called against Great Taste to the 2 of the Ginebra San Miguel squad, and never say die team.
130 for Great Taste. 107 for Ginebra San Miguel. And if you're a fan of the Ginebras, it's so difficult to breathe.
That's right, it happened to them several times last year, Pingoy, when Michael was still playing for my team, Manila Beer. We were leading by as much as 20 points in the fourth quarter, and we lost 2 ball games to the Ginebra San Miguel squad,
I was trying to observe you keenly during that experience, Doctor. And I noticed that you were taking about 7 glasses of water.
That's right, You're just waiting for the time to run out. It doesn't want to run out. Your shots won't fall in like what's happening for Great Taste. And baby, if there's going to be any timeout, it's going to come soon. And Jaworski hits a 3-pointer.
That will be his third. And from 32 down to 28, the lead now of Great Taste has been whittled down to 18. Time, 5 and 15.
An illegal defense, however, called against Ginebra San Miguel. A warning given.
It's a warning, and Hackett says, thanks for that. Because what you have to recognize here is that Hackett is playing with 5 personal fouls.
He'll take that. He doesn't want to give himself the 6th personal foul. Pressure being exerted by the Ginebra defense. Brown making it from the outside.
As Brown would tell us time and time and again, money's on the line.
Go to me. But there is Hackett getting a good feed from Adbani. Adbani, a bench player, really showing some good movements here for the team.
Andy, what you have to recognize is that Michael Young, after making 51 points, has only scored a basket.
That's right.
But what an assist pass coming from the big man.
Yes, it's a very opportune time for him to feed off to his teammates now that he's acting like a decoy. 3-point shot by Loizaga. And Jaworski
for an
expecting
interception.
another 3-point shot. It's going to be offline. But look at the first guy there. It's Jaworski together with Atoy Ko, however.
Loose ball foul. It's going to go against Ginebra. That happened before that mild collision. Great pace in front by 20. And that's the man. The fireman Comet. That'll be his third rainbow shot. Hackett for 2 under the basket. Ricardo Brown has scored 10 points out of his 39 right here in the fourth quarter. 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Basket will not count. The foul is going to go against that Bunny. And we have a timeout. Time left, 3 minutes and 41 seconds. And our story on team fouls. 6 being carried by Great Taste to the 4 of Ginebra San Miguel. Hackett on Carpio. Carpio losing it to the baseline.
Definitely Carpio given instructions to post up Hackett, try to fish for the last foul. No calls were made, however.
They throw it away. Couldn't handle it. By the way, coming up next, our main game tonight featuring the Magnolia Ice Cream Makers going up against the Animo Tanduay Rum Makers. Michael Young with a basket here in the fourth quarter. 53 points. Adani. Jaworski. Ricardo Brown has improved his conference high, and right now he's got 39. Works on that pick.
It's not just over, Pingoy. He's going to take some more shots before this game is over.
Quickly to Carpio. He will score and will go to the line. The foul is going to go against Ginebra.
You know, Carpio is a guy you would call a good person to have on the court for the finishing touches. Because he's a scavenger. He goes for every loose ball recovery, goes for the offensive rebounds. And when the defense locks up a little bit, you can get Carpio there to pump in the points for you to finish them off, you know.
Quite steady from the free throw line.
Also a 100% shooter, Pingoy, during the semifinals, 4 out of 4, including the one he just made. It's going to be an offensive foul on Harman Cardenera. Carpio with a good act, plus a good shout.
Well, if you remember, during our halftime feature, the Burlington basketball tips, that's exactly what
Norman was talking about, the charging violation, establishing your position, taking the charge like a man. 55 points now for Michael Young, and they have a 24-point lead.
Young has pulled down 15 rebounds.